What's the strangest class your school ever forced on you? Mine introduced something called Virex studies, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't meant to help us learn, it was meant to change us. It started on a random Tuesday. The bell rang for second period, but instead of going to our usual classes, every single student was told to report to a room none of us had ever used before. No explanation, no warning, just a quiet announcement over the speakers. My friend Tyler leaned over and whispered, "This feels off." I didn't answer, but I felt it too. Something about the way everyone moved, like we were being guided, not told. When we walked in, the room was different. No posters, no windows, just rows of desks and a board already filled with strange symbols. A teacher I'd never seen before stood there, finishing the last line. She turned slowly and smiled like she'd been expecting us. "Welcome," she said. "This will be the most important subject you ever learn." Her voice was calm, almost too calm. "You will memorize these symbols by tomorrow." I raised my hand and asked what everyone else was thinking. "What language is this?" She paused, just long enough to feel intentional, then said, "That's not important right now." That answer stuck with me. That night, I tried to find anything about it. I searched every variation of the word Virex, checked language forms, even dug through obscure sites. Nothing. No trace it existed anywhere outside our school. It didn't make sense. How do you teach an entire language that no one's ever heard of? But within a few days, things got even stranger. People were learning it. Fast. Way too fast. Kids who struggled in basic classes were suddenly writing full sentences in Virex like it was second nature. I asked Tyler again if it felt weird, and he just shrugged. "It's easy," he said. "You're overthinking it." That's when it hit me. No one else was questioning it. Within weeks, Virex spread everywhere. Posters appeared in the hallways with the symbols. Morning announcements started including short phrases. Even teachers who weren't part of the class began using it casually. Students spoke it between classes, laughing like it was completely normal. It didn't feel like a subject anymore. It felt like something taking over. I started documenting everything. I copied every symbol, tracked patterns, tried to connect it to real languages. There were exactly 40 characters. No roots, no familiar structures, nothing that made sense. It's like it was designed, not evolved. Then one night, I found something that made my chest tighten. A post from a student in another state describing the exact same class. Same symbols, same timeline, same teacher behavior. There were replies from other students too, comparing notes. But the next morning, it was gone. The entire thread, deleted like it never existed. After that, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I stayed after class and asked the teacher directly, "Why are we learning this?" She looked at me for a long moment and said, "Because you were selected." My stomach dropped. "Selected by who?" I asked. But she didn't answer, just repeated, "That's not important right now." By the second month, things got worse. People weren't just speaking Virex, they were thinking in it. Tyler stopped responding to me unless I used it. Conversations around me shifted mid-sentence without anyone noticing. Some students said it made their thoughts clearer, faster, like everything just clicked. And the worst part, I started feeling it too. I'd catch myself thinking in those symbols without trying, like they were slipping into my mind on their own. Then came the day everything changed. The teacher walked in carrying a new set of books. Thicker, older. The symbols on the cover looked distorted, almost like they were moving if you stared too long. "This is advanced Virex, for those ready to move forward." I raised my hand again. Move forward to what? This time she didn't hesitate. She looked me directly and said, "To understanding why you were chosen." The room stayed silent, but no one else reacted. They just opened their books and started writing, like they already knew what she meant. I looked around and realized something terrifying. Everyone was ahead of me. They were already using the new symbols, already understanding something I couldn't even process. Conversations started happening that sounded familiar but felt wrong, like I almost understood but not enough to follow. I tried to talk to Tyler after class, but he just looked at me differently now. "You should stop resisting it," he said quietly. "It's easier when you stop resisting." That wasn't him, not the Tyler I knew. It was like he'd been replaced by someone calmer, emptier. That night, I couldn't sleep. The symbols kept showing up in my head, forming patterns I didn't remember learning. I tried to think in English, but it felt slower, heavier, like my brain was being pulled in another direction. And for a moment, just a moment, I understood something. Not fully, but enough to scare me. It felt like the language wasn't just something we were learning, it was something that was learning us. The next day, I walked into class and saw it clearly. Everyone writing in perfect sync, the same symbols, the same rhythm, like they were connected somehow. And for the first time, I realized this wasn't about school anymore. It was about control. And now, I had a choice. Keep questioning everything and slowly lose everyone around me, or stop resisting and finally understand what Virex was really meant to do.